ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ fateh. Welcome to this segment of Code Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation today is Pauri number 22 of Asa Diwar on page 474. And in this Pauri, we have the Pauri accompanied by several sloks from the second Guru, Guru Angad, by way of clarification. And the theme here is how to engage in service. Guru Nanak has used the example of a servant and a master, because the relationship between a Sikh and the Guru, the Shabad Guru, is also one of, it's a master-slave relationship. And so the Guru is explaining to us how to actually serve the master. What are some of the qualities that you need? So the first salok, they're short ones, so I'll just go line by line. Salok mahalla duja, Chakar lagai Chakari. So Chakar with an ankar specifies a servant. It actually means an attendant, if you will. In the days, it used to be that masters or lords of the manor, if you will, had attendants that were in constant presence. So Chakar lagai Chakari. Lagai, who's engaged in service, Nale, but is also Garabavad, but is also engaged in vanity, vainful talk, and is argumentative, Wad. Gallan kare ganeriyan, talks excessively. So such a servant, the Guru says, will not get a taste of approval. So the message to us is, do not waste your time in argumentation. Accept what is being said to you by the Guru. So, gallan kare ganeriyan, khasam na paaye, saad, khasam na paaye, will not get approval. Saad is taste, but here obviously the taste is one of approval. And then in the next two lines, Guruji tells us how to actually serve a master. So, aap gavaye seva kare. If the servant serves selflessly, aap gavaye, without ego, with humility, then the servant will meet with approval, will get approval by man. Man is approval in this case, master approving of your service. Nanak jisno lagga tis mile lagga so parwan. So here's the crux of the matter. Jisno lagga, whoever the servant is attached to, this mile must align with or identify with the objective of the master that a servant is serving. Imagine being in service of someone and heading off doing things in your own way or not paying attention. So, mile so parwan, such a servant is acceptable. So we have here the first clue is to do as the Guru says. Then the second salok, mahalla duja, jo ji hoye so ugve, muh ka kahya vao. Jo ji hoye, whatever is in the mind will eventually sprout out. So ugve. Muh ka kahya vao. The mouth can utter a lot of hot air. What the Guruji is saying to us is, your intention must be right. You cannot simply superficially say the right thing, because you will be exposed. Because we can mask our true intentions with clever words. We can flatter the master, but the master will know sooner or later where you stand. So it is all within. The intention must be right. So the Guru says, look, if you don't do that, then your situation is like the individual who sows poison but is looking for nectar. Bije bekh mange amrit. And then the Guru says, Vekho e nyao, behold this justice. What kind of justice are you asking for? To the third salok of Mahalla Puja, Naal iane dosti kade na aave ras. Naal iane dosti. Friendship with the immature, iane, does not find fruition, is never successful. Iana here, immature, we shouldn't think that the Gurus are pointing to specific people. They're just using those as tropes. What they're really, the Iana is really the ego. So when you act out of the ego, you're not going to actually be successful, because the ego is never satisfied and the ego is misdirecting. So how do you do it? The Guru offers us a hint. Vastu andar vast samave. We know that only like substances merge with each other. Unlike substances remain separate, even when they are next to each other. Vastu andar vast samave. Like substances, duji hove paas. Hove paas meaning, even if you are sitting next to the Guru physically, if your mind is not open, if you're not receiving the teachings, then you are like two unlike substances. You won't benefit or you won't profit. So Sahib seti hukam na challa. Sahib, your master here, the person that you're serving, with that master, hukam na challa. You can't order your master around. Kahi bane ardas. If you want to get your way with the master, a plea is perhaps more appropriate form of addressing the master rather than ordering him around or her around. But you get the drift here. Because the Guru says, if that is how you go about it, you will pay for it. If you practice falsehood, kud kamane, meaning if you're acting out of the ego, if you're being deceptive, if you're saying something, if you're flattering the Guru but you don't mean it, but you're going off and, if you're calculating, in other words, because in the previous story we talked about calculation. Love cannot be based on calculations. So if you're calculating, then you become conditioned by it, kudo hove, and you don't get to the end. It does not bring fruition. What does is sifat vigas, progress. So when you're conditioned by the same behavior, you're not progressing. You're just getting stale and anxious. So you need progress, vigas, always. And that comes through sifat. Sifat is praise. Praise is wisdom and virtue, cultivation of virtue based on Gur wisdom. Mahalla Duja. These are all saloks of Mahalla Duja. He goes on, Naal iane dosati vadaru syone. Remember, he said, Naal iane dosti kadena ave ras. It does not lead to fruition. Now he's saying, Naal iane dosti vadaru syone. Vadaru means you are then in love with power, with the impermanence of things. You get into this power play. that we all are in. And what about it? What about this power play that you're engaged in then? Pani andar leek jyo. It's like a line drawn in water. Tisda thao na theho. It has no place or permanence. In other words, it matters not. It's all temporary. So, if a servant acts but is ignorant, the other salok, the last salok, hoye iana. So the servant really doesn't know what the process is or what the master needs and gets to work on it. Hoye iana kare kam aan na sake ras. Will never find complete satisfaction. Why? Because even if the servant performs a task satisfactorily, if somehow gets one task right, je ik ad changi kare, the next one is bound to be spoiled. Duji bhi veras, without completion, because he's ignorant. He does not really know. And now to the pauri. Chakar lagai Chakari, je challe khasme paaye. That's the way to serve the master, is to do the master's bidding. A servant has to do the master's bidding. Je challe khasme paaye. That is the real chakari. Hurmat tisno agli, oh vajjo bhi doona kaaye. Then hurmat tisno, you earn the master's favor. And that brings a bountiful return. Agli. Vajjo bhi doona khaye. We all know this in our daily life. Your wages can be doubled. Vajjo bhi doona khaye. So you get a bountiful return by earning the master's favor, by doing the master's bidding. Khasme kare barabari, fir gairati andar paaye. Here's a warning. But if you try and equal your master, you will be filled with pride. And you know what happens to pride. Vajo gavai agala mohe muhi pana khai. That's what will happen. Vajo gavai. Not only will you lose your wages, but you will also suffer the indignity of losing future employment, of being turned away. Pana khai, pana is a slipper, which is symbolic of indignity. You will be subjected to that indignity. And the Guru concludes by saying, look, jisda ditta khamana tis kahiye sabas, nanak hukam na challai, naal khasam challe ardas. The point that Guru Angad was clarifying. Jisda ditta khamana, on whose charity we receive our sustenance. So you see, life is a gift. It's been given to us. Tis kahiye sabas. What when we give it in return, or what can we say except praise, gratitude? And how do you show your gratitude? You cultivate the qualities of this master. And Nanak warns us, one's ego can never prevail with the master. Nanak hukam na challai. Naal khasam, with the master, challe ardas. You can only plead with the ardas. Again, you want the master to do something for you, you don't go to the master and order him to do something. You plead with him. You use and exercise a whole different tone and inflection of voice. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।